Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year. This is our first Leadership Live since turning into 25. So appreciate you all being here. Hopefully you had a strong weekend. And if you're in the parts of the country where you're being inundated with snow, we lift you in prayer, of course, that you're safe and enjoy it. Go make a snowman. Go have some fun. I didn't send an email out about today, and so the attendance will probably be lower. Usually we have a password protected page, and last week we removed that requirement, and I failed to remind everyone this morning. So my apologies. Um, I got some updates for you today, and it's comes with a heavy heart that I want to share something with you about a change we're making. Not a change, but a course correction, I'd call it. I want to start with the leaders, get your feedback, and that's what I'm glad you're here. So if we can make sure the chat is turned on so that people can give the response via chat, and we can have a Q&A dialogue. But anyway, we've got the last couple of weeks we've been talking about our goals a lot and how we can believe it and see it, and how important that is, and there's no question that is the law of attraction says it. Immune system, people have proven your immune system can boost up just by imagining yourself healing itself. And to the same token, if you start telling yourself you're sick, you're sick, you're sick, your immune system goes down. They've proven that. Physics, biology, not physics, biology, they've proven that is the case. So nobody can argue that. Many studies have been done to show that when you think you're going to get healthy, you're healthier. Doesn't mean you're automatically healthy. The power of prayer is real. The power of positive thinking is real. All those things are real. And um, so to believe we're going to accomplish this is more critical than the result we get today. That may give us a short-term pulse of belief, like a heroin drug. It gives you a little fix. But unless you have some long-term pathway that you think you can achieve it, it's hard to achieve. So we have decided at DAC, obviously when we launched the company, we wanted to provide great funding for business owners and a great opportunity for our agents. And through many evolutions, if you will, partnering with Youngevity, pulling away from Youngevity, different things we've done, um, we're still on the same path. We're still heading to the northern light, if you will. But we've taken some ripples along the way, and we've attempted some things. And one of the things that any successful person will say is fail fast, so that you don't invest too many hours and time in things. And then once you know you failed at something, shut it down. And so I've got a little egg in my face today, and I don't like that, but I'm just being transparent with you. We got to make some we're making some calls on our license required services. Okay. Um, we're supporting what we've launched, and we'll always support what we've launched, but I want to get your feedback on this. We're going to sunset signing up new licensed agents in the next 60 days, unless we see a massive influx, right? But we've got the appointment page right now for licensed agents. It's live, and we're not going to shut it down for until the end of February unless we see massive growth, which we're not going to try to create massive growth between now and then. Here's why. We had a supplier relationship, a middleman relationship that was going to support it. And that supplier relationship no longer wants to support that. So that puts the burden on DAC. So much like we have Wade and Brad at Bank Breezy Business Funding supporting all our referrals, DAC doesn't have to talk to the lenders, talk to the client. We don't do that. Bridgepoint does. Bank Breezy does. It's called Bridgepoint Services Inc. Wade and I are partners in that, and he leads up that. And I don't have to think about lender relationships, and we refer clients, and I can focus on DAC and building out DAC. Well, that was what we needed to launch license required services. It's far more complex. And we had supplier who committed to that. And in that commitment, we then said, we will assist by creating the appointment process and supporting our agents and creating a pay plan that they can be excited about, and then bring on clients and build, hey, how many agents can we get? Licensed agents can we get? Well, after we started the appointment process, that supplier relationship has pulled out after we promoted we were doing it, right? So we decided, because McGuire's licensed, and I said, well, let's try to support it. Let's see what we can do. I don't want to just kill it when we think it's a good thing. But we want to be remarkable at funding. We want to be remarkable in our other services, payment processing. And so to support the license side falling on my shoulders or having to hire new people to support that, not to mention the compliance requirements and the comp plan, new programming things that would be required. Without the supplier supporting it, I don't want to promote a lot of growth because it could potentially cause a problem. Not that we wouldn't do everything we can to smile and bust our tail, but we're already working endless hours, to move our DAC in the next direction. So unfortunately, I woke up very troubled this morning. So I had an internal call um, about this, and I said, I want to bring it up on the Monday leadership call, that I feel it's doing a disservice to everyone that's in DAC who's not focused on license required services if we continue to promote it and ask people to promote it, because the only way to support it is me taking my eye off of, or others in DAC taking their eye off of license required services. I'm sorry, non-license required services, Bank Breezy business funding, and the building up of the agent base there, me getting on the road traveling and doing that. I need less corporate responsibility right now so I can do more for business development with all of you. I need more training responsibility on me and more team growth and more customer acquisition training. So with a heavy heart, it's embarrassing because we just pulled the trigger on getting appointed. We spent a lot of time building out our appointment page, licensing relationships with people. So this is what I feel we need to do. I feel we need to have the insurance companies pay the agents directly, the licensed agents directly, and then pay an override to the upline as we promised we would do. And if someone wants to appoint someone, and if you're a licensed agent and you want to appoint someone, feel free. For the next 60 days, we're going to leave it open. We're not going to close it immediately, but we are going to turn it down. We're going to shut it down. And just because the amount of burden of supporting those who've already started to get appointed is far too high for us to want to take on more, unless we're going to see um, a higher level of production out of those who get appointed. And it just, there's a cost to us to support this, as you can well imagine. So I say with a heavy heart, because some of you went and got licensed, and you get to earn street level at everywhere that we appoint you with. You're going to be paid directly by them rather than us. At least we believe that's the case. We've reached out to all the licensed providers and told them we want to switch from LOA, where we get paid and pay you, to paying you direct by them. We'll pay the upline commission. They give us an override. We'll pay the upline licensed agents commissions. This is what we're leaning toward right now. This has got 4 hours of thought behind it, though. Well, since 4:30. So it's got 7 hours of thought, but not all of it was on that. So this is one of those fail fast, take the pain on the face, take the pie on the face, whatever, and take the responsibility. We went through with our ex supplier having an issue, and then we take pie on our face for choosing that supplier. And so I just want to start 25 with the services we can support better than anybody, and be confident when I do a business opportunity overview for people that I can promise that they get involved with us, will be the best at business funding, will be the best at payment processing, will have the best health share, because we're not pulling away from ClearShare. We think it's the best health sharing product, but we can't support licensed agents the best. So as much as we wanted to move into that route, um, we're slowing it. We're pulling back on the throttle. Now, if you're already in, you're gonna get paid directly. If you get yourself appointed, you'll be paid directly from the insurance company at the street level. If you have a team that's already in, you're gonna get the override commission. When we get paid, we're gonna pay some to the upline. I have not decided yet how we're going to do that, because we gotta look for licensed providers, but we want it to be competitive. I know what Clearwater's plan is. We got to match that, right? So, um, but how are we going to do it? And, those things, we just made the decision. We're not pressing forward with it. So, um, I want to get your feedback. I don't need, I want to know if I have blind spots. That's what I would say. Um, for some of you, you've made plans because you are licensed to build a big licensed team here. And over the next 60 days, that's why we're not closing the portal yet. If you want to grow your team here, grow it, have them sign up, have them get them appointed now. Once we shut that down, most insurance companies don't allow you to build a team. So this would be the time to do it if you intend to do it. Um, but do know that unless we see results and we go, "Well, we gotta hire some people to support this because look at the growth we're having." Unless we see that, I'm doing you a disservice. So if you can support the people you recruit and you can get them appointed direct with the insurance companies and they'll be paid direct by the insurance company and you'll get an override, by all means, have your team get appointed. But I want to be the best at funding. I want to be the best business opportunity in funding, and I want to be the best in payment processing. Those are our payment processing is the residual. It's the future. We're in a gold rush right now, and business funding, we've got some neat things we're working on in business funding that gets real slow if we're also doing other things. So that's what I wanted to start the call with today. And I'm imagining, I can imagine it being successful and making it happen and just bite it off. But I don't feel comfortable with that because I don't want to support that the same way I want to support business funding or the DAC agent base. I don't want to do that. And so if I, as the CEO, don't want to put all my eggs in that basket of supporting a licensed agent team for a 2% override, um, most of the commission goes to the agent and I don't have the passion for it the same, then I can't continue to um, keep it open. So with that said, I know some of you are licensed agents on here already, and you may have more questions than others. And you feel free if you want to talk offline, you can email me. We can set up a call, or you can text me, or you can put in your chats here what questions you have. So I wanted to start by saying that that's the main purpose of today's call because you may bring something to my attention I'm not aware of, and I go, oh, well, maybe I need to reconsider. Um, but I've talked to the internal corporate team. I've talked to our suppliers, and um, with all those conversations, this is kind of where I'm leaning. So I don't like having this conversation, but I want to get on to growth mode instead of support mode in an area I have no experience supporting. All right. So it's unfortunate, but I wanted to bring that up now. So with all of you, and that's why there's been some delays. It's been hard to pull this off, and I'm learning as I'm supporting it, and that's why it's taken longer to launch pay plans and launch things because there's legalities I'm learning just by doing it, and not to mention all the compliance requirements that are on us. So someone else was going to handle that burden. They're no longer going to be. So I got to make a decision now with that changing landscape. And based on that changing landscape, this is where I feel we need to go. All right. The only reason we want to keep it open 60 days is because some of you just got licensed and some of you were doing that to build a team. And we're going to give you a little time to do that and see if maybe our initial understanding is incorrect and maybe it's worth hiring someone to support this. So with that said, let's go to your comments, questions first. Is there anything anyone else wants to? I see there's 50 people on here. Most of you aren't licensed. We've only had 60 people try to get appointed, and less than 30 of them actually have at the providers. So half of them haven't gone through doing it. So right now there's 60 who started the appointing process only. So it's not like there's thousands, but there are 60. And for those people, that matters to me because I don't want to steal their dream of what they were doing this for. I want to be transparent, but I also want to keep it open if they want to go build some teams because the insurance companies don't allow that. So if you want to recruit some people now's a good time. And maybe we'll keep that appointment process open after that, just not make it part of our biz op. And that'll be a private thing you guys do on your own. kind of like we have with Relevate right now or DAC Protect. They're there, but it's not something we lead with. All right, so let's see your comments and see what questions you have. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. I may have a company that, thank you, Lacey. It's going to take, I've got companies too, but again, even if we had the company right now, the company that was going to do it, we had a great relationship with, and they could support it. We could keep it open, but I'm not looking to find a new company right now unless we see results. Let's have a better 25, 100% focus on business funding, no diversions, no distractions being okay. Keep moving from setback and setback without any loss of enthusiasm. Yep, beautiful. Thank you, Orlando. Thank you, Steve. And I know, Steve, you're one of the people who's focused on license, so excited about being the best in business. Yep. Brian, same thing. Thank you for sharing my email. Thank you, Cheryl. There was prayer, definitely. Thank you, Steve. All right. Well, I appreciate, thank you for excellently. Well, thank you guys for the compliments and the cheerleading. And I do appreciate that. I really do, because there's nothing like receiving praise. Um, but I want to tell you, this is very hard because I put a lot of time in before launching things. And so I felt like it was the right thing to do. And we considered it for over 2 years. So to invest that much time in prayer and thought beforehand, I did feel a little pressed into moving it quicker along because of some certain situations. And in hindsight, I've learned from that, but I did feel very comfortable, or I wouldn't have proceeded. And with that said, yeah, that's why I can look in the mirror and say how I could have done this better. And sometimes the landscape changes, and that's part of being an entrepreneur. And just like COVID happened, COVID affected our funding, but we were one of the only companies who stayed in business. Just like most restaurants closed, but DAC lost money through a long period of time in there. But we ended up profitable for the year, even though COVID just about killed many of our partners, providers. And there was one month we only did $3,000 in revenue, 3,000 in revenue, and had to pay 75% of that out in commissions. And so we only made what, 25% of 3,000, $750, and had to pay all the payroll and operations. But we did it, and we endured. And because we had strength going into that, and willingness and determination and vision. And so I see us becoming like the Quicken of business funding, Quicken Mortgage of business funding. I know what we got to do it. I've already seen this long enough to know where our faults are, and the follow up with current customers. We're going to get better there. And so that's where our focus is bringing in the right type of agents through our pre-certification, having the right type funding products and being very discriminate on that, and getting rid of the wrong ones and only having the right ones. And if that means some deals get declined, they get declined. But we won't have to worry about the post-funding frustrations of those clients. And we won't oversell anything. We just had one of our first prepayment people. you know, I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome. The amount of money that client saved. That means they got their funding, took the 100% prepayment product, so they paid a little higher price. But if they paid off early, they don't have to pay any of that. And we just had someone reach out today and said, "Hey, I want to prepay everything off. How do I do that?" I mean, that's exciting to me. Now, to the agent, they may go, "Oh, I'm not going to get my bonus, 91 days because they paid it off." Yeah, but guess what? They'll probably be telling others about it and getting others, and you can get referrals out of them and get more fundings from them in the future. I mean, that's a happy camper customer. There's not a company out there that's offering that but us. So those are the type things as we get better and better and gooder at that. That's what takes our business north. And by the way, following them up to payment processing is our back end. We want to build residual. You all need residual income to not be dependent. You don't need it, but we want it for you. And so following up with our funded customers to convert their payment processing over can earn you a lot more than, Wade's got one client right now that just on that client alone, let's just say it's 1,000 a month. Well, how many fundings you got to do? How do you make 1,000 in funding at 40% of bonus revenue? That'd be 4,000 bonus revenue or $40,000 funding. It's like he's got a $40,000 funding every month coming in from his one residual payment processing customer. And so if you put them on dual pricing, it's very lucrative. So we're leading with the funding, but we're also leading with payment processing. But I just had a payment processor reach out to me today, someone we worked with in the past. And they said, because of our relationship, even though you don't represent us anymore, you demonstrated integrity the whole time. We understood why you decided not to represent us. And we think you guys are probably the best funders out there. So we want to talk to you about getting all of our agents referring your funding. That came out to me this morning. So as I'm contemplating this whole thing about that, I'm like, there's a confirmation almost that because of how we handle ourselves and have handled ourselves, even when we pulled the plug on promoting that company, they understood why they understood why we did. As I always say, it's not about me only, or our customers. It's about our agents who are representing these products. And unless we can give them top-notch service, top-notch profits, top-notch products, we're doing them a disservice, bringing that chicken nugget into the thing. We need the best chicken if we're Chick-fil-A, right? That's why it's Chick-fil-A, grade A. So they only use the best chicken. It's one of the things they stand on. That's why it's in their name. All right. So, well, I appreciate. I'm gonna see if there's any other comments on here. There's going to be more announcements on this. You bet, Leo. And I know you're really excited about it. So I'm sure this is a little disheartening. Um, but I appreciate 30 years in experience. No one ever called as to the product. Ron, I understand. The product was, we had other suppliers we were talking to, and we were planning to add more. But as soon as we learned we couldn't add more because we couldn't support it the right way, we didn't pursue conversations about the product. Um, it's like adding more lenders right now if we're getting out of the space of lending. It didn't make sense to worry about new lenders if we're not ready to advance it up. And our experts had to put us in touch with the ones we have now. No, there's no good loans anywhere for startups, except their credit card. And stay away from the credit card stacking companies that tell you to go get 5 credit cards. Personal loans is the only way for startups. Oh, thank you, Morgan, for answering that. Thank you, Sharon, for answering as well. All right, guys. Hey, listen, this is where we pivot. Rear view mirror is not for looking in, it's for learning from, and then we focus on the windshield. That's why the windshield's so much bigger. Let's focus on where we're going, keep the destination where we're going. And if you were going there, the page is still there for getting appointed. You can still appoint people. davidallencapital.com/health care or dachealthcare.com/licensing. You can get appointed if you're licensed, and you can have people get appointed there. Once they're an agent of us, they can go get appointed as well. So it's still live for 60 days, but I wanted you to know that we're moving off that benchmark and we're moving into the benchmark of what we started this company based on. Funding and payment processing is our lead. We do have DAC Health Share. It's not going away. It's a great product for 1099 agents. It's a great product for independents and self-employed, and there's no open enrollment. You can sign people up all throughout the year on it, the health share product. So we've got that. Now the 15th is when, talking about open enrollment, the 15th is when people got to make their decisions by to start February 1st with a new insurance company. After that, they can't get it unless there's a new life event. So we can sign them up at any time. But a lot of people are making decisions between now and the 15th. So if you want to get them on the health share, you can. We're blazing on the products we own, which is funding. And we're working to own payment processing too, so that we can pay a higher residual and be better for our customers. And so hang tight on where we're going, and let's get our recruiting going again, and our training's going live soon. The learning management software is almost built. The content's got to be added, but the system itself, we own it. So it's fabulous. We don't have to worry about a supplier going out of business, like our app company. I mean, we've had 2024 was full of supplier issues. And so we're starting 25 with a clean slate. And sometimes it's just better to own the product than partner with someone who does, because then you're at their mercy. So we own the funding company. We're partners. Wade and I are partners in that. So that can't go away. That's a good thing. And payment processing, we're solidifying that more too. But the learning management software is going to be spectacular, and good things ahead. Set your goals for what are your goals for this week? What are your goals for this week? Activity matters more. You know, when you do an activity, you get the endorphin. And endorphin is a chemical very similar to morphine. Why do people take heroin? For the morphine, and it's unhealthy, of course. But if you can do activity, it creates more momentum. It creates more positive feelings. So you do more activity and more activity and more activity. You can't control the outcome, but you can control the activity. So what's your goals for this week? For activity goals, let's hit them. And let's go out there and service a lot of business owners and build our agent team and help them service business owners. Rock and roll. Appreciate you all. God bless you.